Well, aloha kakahiaka, everyone. Today is April 28th, 2023, and you are on the Aloha Friday Hawaii Real Estate Show. Welcome, everyone. And if you're watching this on a pre-recorded basis, you can kind of skip ahead, probably about 5 minutes or so. But hey, before you do that, here's the lineup. Here's what we're going to be doing today. We've got a couple things. We got a great Kanakapila music selection coming up for you. I caught some interesting news that you're going to want to know about. Of course, your questions are what this show is really all about. And so we're going to be taking your question. We've got a good feature today on renting. You want to know about renting. And then, of course, we've got our Diamonds and Deals, which is going to be our properties that we are featuring. And then finally, we're going to close with motivational thoughts. If you're watching this, there's probably chapters in the YouTube. There's YouTube chapters. You can kind of click through to whatever part of the show that you like. But for now, it is time for us to warm up the microphones. So I'm going to bring in my friends here who are with us for today. And we've got Ashley Wasan, who is on Oahu, and we have Dylan Nonaka, who is on the Big Island. Heidi says she's going to join us in about 5, so we're going to be looking forward to having Heidi join us, who's going to be from Maui, or who is in Maui, and will be joining the show first. So, hey, Ashley, what's going on, girl? What's going on Oahu? What's happening? How's the surfboard? How's everything else? You're muted.
I finally see the sun and I am so happy. I have felt very moist for several days. It has been a lot of rain, and although we need it and I love it, I am very, very happy to get some sunshine now. My pool almost overflowed. The dogs tend to be a bit more of a handful when we have this much rain, but it's beautiful and it's nice. And I have guests that came for our grand opening of our office, and it's been raining here in Kailua, but they just go to Waikiki or they go to town, they go to a different part of the island, and then they're laying out in the sun and they're having a great sunny day. So it's all a blessing.
That is a really cool part about the islands in general, but certainly Oahu specifically, where on the windward sides they're typically wetter than they're the wettest part of the island. And then if you go to like west of those islands, and certainly south, which is exactly what Waikiki is. It's west of Kailua and it's south. It catches the lee side of the island essentially, and it's dry. It's almost always dry. It's really cool. So you can almost it's almost not every day, but some days you could kind of, like, if you don't like the weather, just drive over to the dry side. And if you don't want the dry weather, drive over to the wet side, and you'll kind of get what you want, which is really, really cool. I was just thinking about that too. It's like the weather, this has been one of the wettest and coldest years I could remember. And it also, all oddly, is the trades have been kind of strange. The trades for the past month or so have been not kind of consistent. It's been a very strange year. But anyway, speaking of dry sides, Dylan, who's on the dry side of the Big Island, on the Kona side. Dylan, what's up, buddy? How are you doing over there? What's happening?
I'm on the dry side, but I'm in the perfect dry part of the dry side. So like just south of Kailua Kona is like the most amazing weather to me. No matter where I've gone in the world, there's like just enough rain because we're up at like 1,000 feet of elevation, and it's never too hot. It's never too cold. You don't have to irrigate. It's like the most perfect place in the world to live, in my opinion. So it rained a little bit last night. The grass is green. It's a sunny day today. It's just the best. So never windy. It's never.
See, that's the thing. It's like now, if you could all imagine this. First of all, we all know that Hawaii's weather is the greatest weather on the planet, bar none. Period. End of story. So that's a fact. And then to have Dylan make this claim to say, "Hey, I live in the best weather on the best place of Earth for the best. I live in the best place of the best weather on Earth that has the best weather of all." That's quite a claim.
I confidently make that claim. Confidently,
quite a claim. And that'd be kind of one to kind of battle over, because I think it's going to come down to opinion. But I could understand it because, hey, you got the elevation, so it's cool. It doesn't get hot, and you get the right amount of moisture. Don't need irrigation. Don't have to water the grass. Get just the right, but not too much. Sounds pretty perfect. Hey, and speaking of perfect, let's say hello to our friends over here who have joined us. And Auntie Joan is here. Aloha, everyone. Heidi, do you ever drink that PCR coffee? We're going to wait because Heidi's going to, as soon as Heidi pops in, we're going to ask her that PCR coffee. What does PCR stand for, Joan? I'd like to know about that. And a good friend, one of the first Islander Ohana members, and of course an alumni, is Kinaya. Aloha from Austin. So happy to be here with everyone. Kinaya, it is great to see you. I'm glad that you're here. You're coming out to our great state here pretty soon, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll be looking forward to seeing you, hopefully live. We're going to have a Islander meetup, I'm sure, when Kinaya shows up on Oahu again. Paul just joined us. Hey, Paul, welcome back, buddy. Weather's the best. What an adorable opinion, says Southern California. Dude, don't go there. Southern Cal is beautiful. Southern Cal is nice, but nothing holds a candle to Hawaii. Not even close. Not even close. Don't go there with me. Okay. Hey, I think let's see. It's that time. Let's move. It is 9:01. We're going to move on, and hopefully Heidi's going to be joining us. And if not, we're going to send her our love and aloha regardless. All right, kind of Kapila time. So here's another one that I can't do that Siri and Alexa and Google can't handle. So we're just going to give her to you in normal verb. Amy Hanaiali'i. You want to get Amy Hanaiali'i. She is awesome. Really extremely talented vocalist, and her music is beautiful, and she's been around for a long time, and she's still doing her thing, and she is a great artist. Amy Hanaiali'i. I don't know if you guys have any comments on Amy Hanaiali'i, Dylan or Ashley. You guys want to talk about your feelings about Amy Hanaiali'i? Anything you want to share?
I don't know her. I'm excited to listen to her. I honestly like this show personally, so that I get more music ideas. You're like, what's your favorite? I'm like, I don't know. You tell me.
Yeah, well, I got to tell you, it's been, it's getting tougher now. I'm getting down, not to say the bottom of the barrel, but I've gone through all the easy to the easy no-brainer ones, and I was like, oh yeah, Amy Hanaiali'i. I forgot all about Amy. She's awesome. So Dylan, I don't know if you.
You have to think we're younger, right? So we just tell Alexa to play something, or we just tell Spotify like one song, and then it just keeps playing all the music that's like it for us. So it's like memorizing someone's phone number these days.
Isn't that the truth? Actually, I was just you mentioned about memorizing phone numbers. Just the other day, I had to fill out a form with my youngest daughter's phone number, and I did not have it. I had to open my phone and look at it. I thought, holy crap! If I lose my phone, I will never be able to reach my daughter again. This is really terrible, but I've got multiple backups in the cloud at various places, so it's never going to happen. But it just goes to show you. Anyway, Dylan, how about Amy Hanaiali'i for you?
I just thought I could share a funny story. One of my Army Reserve buddies in Maui, she lives on Maui. We go to the local bar, near his house, and she would frequent that. So we ended up making friends with her, but just, very down to earth. Just great stories. And she would impromptu perform here and there, at the local bar. So that's kind of the Hawaii music scene, right? You see it all the time. Like we've talked about this in the past. Like you can just be at a local hotel and walk by and see like a legend playing music, just because that's what they do. They have a gig on Friday where they go and play live music at a restaurant at a local hotel and stuff. So that's what's cool.
We're going to have a segment, Dylan, where we just talk about those stories, because I've got a bunch myself of running into, a superstar and kind of just, kind of jamming, which is really kind of cool. It's a great aspect of the Hawaiian scene. Hey, let's say hello to a few more of our friends over here. Mark Whitehill, an alum of the Islander Ohana. Hey, Mark, good to see you, buddy. Welcome back. Always good to. It's really kind of fun. This has become like a great family gathering. So, actually, in addition to kind of talking about local stuff, we kind of get to our bunch of friends, right? The regulars who show up. Dylan's weather sounds like Groundhog's Day. Oh, how'd you get that, Jeff? Please expand. Please expand, Jeff. I want to know about what's in about Groundhog Day. Like the same thing every day. And hey, TNT, Tony and the other T. Hey there, thanks for covering rentals. Yes, we are going to be covering rentals. That's our feature thing for today, and they're heading over a couple of weeks to do just that. So the Falconers are going to be hanging out on the Big Island. Another alumni of the show, alumni of the Islander Ohana, going to be looking forward to seeing you guys soon. Excellent. And then Bob Carlsbeck. Hey, Bob, welcome back, Bob. This is like your second or third show, at least that you've at least shared your identified yourself, which is always great. And of course, Judy is here. Excellent, Judy. Welcome, Judy. Great to always have you here. And Judy's actually she's making the big move, years in the making, moving to the Big Island, which is great. So Judy, can't wait to hear about your story. It's kind of fun, gang. We are bringing up I was just talking to another member yesterday who's from Kauai now. And so we are actually building up the Islander Ohana on all the key islands. We've got we got two on Kauai. We've got a few on the Big Island, and we have a bunch of us on Oahu. So we are in Maui also. So it's kind of cool. And everyone's saying hello today. This is great. So Kelly is with us. Kelly's Islander Ohana member on the Big Island, as is Bobby Williamson. Bobby on the Big Island on the Kona side. So we need to definitely get a Big Island gang. We need to kind of get a Big Island party going on. That's one thing that's what we need to make it official. We need to make an official Islander Ohana party. That's what we got to do. All right. Hey, let's move on. We're going on, and let's get to the news over here really quick. So oh, there's Heidi. Hi, Heidi. We'll talk more Heidi in a few minutes. I got a question for you, Heidi, about coffee. So hey, gang. So let's talk about this. We got a couple of things I want to kind of share with you really quick. So healthcare is a big deal, big concern for that drives people to one of the islands or not. So a big deal here. $50 million going to the Hilo Hospital. So that's kind of a big thing. Funding for a large expansion is included in the final state budget. So that's kind of going to be a good thing. And it looks like this. We talked about this earlier about Kona coffee. They're going to definitely be clamping down on what real Kona coffee is. It's right now you can kind of say it's Kona coffee if it's got 10%. That's going to change. So that means that the price for real Kona coffee is going to go up because it's going to require more real coffee beans. Maui median. So Heidi, I want to hear about the median price feedback. And also Dylan, there was a question that came in about what's the median price for Big Island real estate. So put that one in the back of your head. I want to talk about that when you guys get to your market thing. But I thought it was interesting. Maui's still kind of cranking. It's at 1.2, man. Unbelievable. With no surprise, this should come at no surprise to anyone. The Hawaii is rated the cleanest air. Air quality on 3 Hawaiian islands among the best in the U.S. American Lung Association released this annual report. And of course, not surprisingly, we've got the cleanest air. And then finally, just kind of a public service announcement. When in doubt, don't hike out. There's been a series of hike rescues over the weekend. I don't know if it's a symptom of today's social media craze where you want to get that awesome selfie, with the mountains behind you and the overlook behind you, and you're going to hike to some insane place. But there's people that are getting hurt, that have to be rescued, that are being stranded. It's pretty serious. Hawaii is beautiful. Don't let the beauty fool you into thinking that it's also safe. It's not. It's a dangerous natural environment. So don't mess with it unless you're a experienced hiker. Plan it out in advance. Take care. Make yourself be safe. And then finally, let's close up over here with the weather. Of course, the weather in Hawaii is perfect. It's always perfect. High 70s, low 70s for the lows. It's going to be amazing. So it's been like I said, it's been rather a cool kind of a year. All right, let's go to the market update. Let's do this first though, because I want to get a welcome, Heidi. Heidi made it. Heidi, we had a question from Joan. So she wanted to ask you about this. Auntie Joan says, Heidi, do you ever drink that PCR coffee that won the award as the best? You know anything about that? PCR coffee?
No, but I've been wanting to try it. So I'd be happy to try it and report back next time. No, but I did hear about it. Can I ask Auntie Joan, have you tried it?
Yeah, great. You certainly did, and you just did. Auntie Joan, fill us in. Have you tried it yet? We've got to, gang. We got to figure out a way to kind of get like a bunch of different kind of fun sponsorships here, right? We need to get like a coffee sponsorship, and we all kind of could drink our coffee. That's sponsored by somebody. We need to get a bunch of sponsors. But we got to figure that one out. All right. Hey, let's move on. Let's get to our market update. So,
I wanted to give you a story about hikes, Peter.
No,
So
please give it.
Even a local like me, has been here my whole life. I don't do a ton of hikes, but my real estate team, we do like a monthly wellness thing, and I have one of the agents who's into doing outdoor activities that plans this wellness activity once a month. And so last month we did a hike in Puawa, which is like an area kind of central on the island. But me being me, I just didn't really do a lot of research on it. She had sent out information, I didn't read it clearly, and so I just showed up because I figured this is a bunch of real estate agent moms that are going on this hike, right? No problem. I hike miles with a 40-pound pack on my back, and it ended up being like an 8-mile round trip and extremely challenging. And I could just see that the normal person that doesn't do their research and just shows up and thinks it's going to be a normal little hike can get themselves into trouble, because I almost did if I didn't have a bunch of moms that brought snacks and water and stuff like that. So I was just ready to show up and just do it. So,
I have so many stories like that too with my daughter, who is a baby. And I was hiking all the time, and I put her on a carrier and I went to the Palipuka Trail. And if you've ever been there, it's like a cliff right off to the side. And she's just on the backpack. It was new for me because I normally front carried her. And this one, she'd just be like, wow, look. And she would throw her body weight over to the side to look, but it was sheer cliff. And it was so windy. And I was like, oh my God, what am I doing? And then I did another one where I was like, oh, let's just go on Wahiawan to the back to go and hike this trail. And she was a baby and I was carrying her again. And I brought a package of crackers and a little kid water bottle. And we were like lost. There was no like real trail markers. It took like 6 hours. The battery of our phone was dead. I was like, well, this is it. This is it.
This is how it ends. This is how it ends on a backpack with crackers and my baby and the walking that
And of
trails.
course, I had to sacrifice all the crackers to her, who wasn't exerting any energy. So I was like pulling my hair and stuff. Your mother is so sacrificial.
You know,
Here's your cracker.
these are great stories, gang, because it just underscores the issue. You better know what you're about to go and do, because I can't imagine how absolutely petrifying that must have been to the Palipuka. So Palipuka, gang, it's an incredible trail, but it's Pali is cliff and Puka is hole, so it's like really you're on the edge over there. And I could just imagine having a baby on my back throwing their weight over and taking me with them. That's just not. Look, mom, wham, over the cliff. Hey, since we're on the topics of hike adventures, Heidi, any hair raising hike adventure that you want to share that you can pull out of your time there on Maui?
Well, there's a lot of great hikes on Maui. I mean, one of the more adventurous hikes that I've been on is the Sliding Sands Trail down into the Haleakala crater. And we stayed in a cabin down there in the center of the crater. And there's only a couple cabins, and it is so, so peaceful and quiet. And you have this amazing view of the night sky. There's no water down there, so you have to either bring your own water or take the straws or the tablets. And I mean, I'm more of a day hiker, so I'm not used to that kind of thing. So we just packed, I mean, like 5 gallons of water, and wow, that hike was difficult carrying, because you have to carry everything in the big hiking backpacks, and then brought way too much water. We didn't even drink all the water, so then we're hiking out of the crater carrying water. I mean, it was just crazy. So some of our friends just did that hike, and we were able to give them better recommendations on what to bring and what not to bring. But if you're looking for an adventurous hike on Maui, I mean, it's worth doing. But it was also one of those hikes, after I've done it, it's kind of like, okay, I've done that. I don't need to do it again next weekend.
I think we need to have another special episode on famous hiking stories, because it's actually, folks, you're watching a classic local thing going on right now. This is a classically local thing, because when we all start talking about our outdoor adventures, it's a who's got the best outdoor adventure game, and everybody plays it. It's a subconscious thing, but we all kind of play it to kind of show, hey, yeah, that was cool, but you know what? Let me tell you about my adventure, and my outdoor adventure was way better than your outdoor adventure. That's the bragging right. See, we don't talk in Hawaii about who makes the most money or who lives in the nicest neighborhood or who's got the coolest job. No. We talk about who's got the coolest outdoor adventure, who did the neatest natural Hawaii thing. And I've got mine, and it beats all yours right now, but I'm not going to share it. I'm going to save that for another day, because we got to get moving over here. We've got to get moving. So we're on the market. We're on the market update. Well, first, let's like a quick break to say hello to a few other folks. So Jeff is this is in referring to Groundhog Day. Same thing every day. A friend who lived in Singapore said the same thing. No sense of time, drove him crazy. Yes. Okay. Thanks, Jeff. So Jeff's saying that Dylan's going through Groundhog Day, same perfect weather, day in, day out. Yes, that's exactly correct. Well said, Jeff. Thank you. And Joan, Heidi, Joan has not. She has not tried it. I don't even know what. So what is PCR? A PCR to me is like some kind of dangerous chemical. It's not like don't
Is that how they test for? Is that how they test for COVID? Like the PCR test?
That is also how they test for COVID. But I think it's Pacific Coffee Research.
Okay. All right.
So,
yeah. So,
or how they test for COVID.
Or how they test for COVID. Well, Heidi, no need to test for COVID, because now we all know that the whole thing like didn't really exist, as we're finding all this out now. It's all uncovering itself. It was just a flu that flew around and everybody was confused about it. So we don't need that anymore. But do let us know if you drink the coffee, Heidi. I would like to know about that. All right, let's say hi to Christian first real quick. Hey, Christian, welcome. Great to have you. Aloha. I'm glad you're part of the show. And we are continuing. We never really started, but we're continuing with our market update. So why don't we do this? Let's go Dylan first, because he was kind of got the ball rolling, and then we'll go Heidi, and then we'll go Ashley. So Dylan, give us the market update. Oh, and there was a question I got from Jeffrey from Sacramento. He asked about what the median price is on the big one. If you've got that handy, please. But otherwise, fill us in. What's going on with the market? How it's happening?
Yeah, let's start with median price. So the median price currently is 550,000, up from 520,000 a year ago. So median price is up still from a year ago, even though the market activity, number of sales that are happening, is like down 50%. So we're like selling half as many homes as we were a year ago. But as we talked about in the last show, what we're also seeing is that I think we're coming out of the bottom. December, January, February, we were at like 300 sales, which is historically low. Normally we're at like 400, 450 sales a month. It's kind of normal times. And we were up to 720 sales in the height of the market last year. And so we're back up. We were back up to 428 last month. And then this month, it's going to probably be a little bit less than that, but we're at like 360 already with a few days left. So probably going to be close to 400 by the end of the month. So a little bit less maybe than last month, but definitely way more than the previous quarter, which was kind of the trough of the market slowing down. So like we said, and we've been talking about, I think the slowdown is probably over. We're feeling that. Several listings that we've put out in the last couple of weeks are, we're seeing 5, 6, 7, 8 offers, having to bust out our multiple offer spreadsheets again to present the different terms to clients and help them easily understand what the differences are and pick the best offer. So I'm seeing that pretty often, and inventory is still very, very low. I mean, inventory has not recovered and is not recovering. And we're still below 2,000 listings on the island, which is, it's 1,500 short of normal pre-COVID times. So
interesting.
Don't sleep and wait, because we've been talking about this we're like a Groundhog Day, right? Don't wait for the market to crash, because it ain't happening. So we're gonna say it again. It ain't happening.
Do not bet against the Hawaii market. That is the one if there's one Groundhog Day message that keeps coming out again and again, like do not bet against. With that, I was really surprised, Heidi, frankly, to see the 1.2 figure for the median. Now, I don't know if that's because some sort of freakishly high sales that came around that bumped it up, but Dylan, go ahead. What were you?
Yeah, and I got to put that in the context, right? That 520 number is the entire island. Like that, there is not that many sales that happen at 5 or 550, right? I mean, a lot of them are below that, and a lot of them are above that. And like if you look in the Kona market, it's 1.2 is the median price in the Kona market. The median price in the Hilo market's like 450, and then you go to South Kona, North Kona, it's even lower. So I mean, there's areas where the median price is 250, 300, but it just depends on what segment of the island you're on, and it's very diverse on the Big Island, probably the most diverse of any of the islands.
I think you're right, and so it's really not it's not really informative, I don't think, to have it where talking about the median price on the Big Island means a lot, because it's a huge variance, as you mentioned, huge variance between.
You got to look at the submarket, and where you want to live,
Totally. All right, with that, Heidi, give us the update. What's happening in Maui, and how's Maui's market looking?
Maui's market is strong and stable. You already heard the median price for March for a single family home was 1.2 million. I really like to look at the year-to-date numbers, year-to-date this year, first quarter compared to last quarter. Year-to-date median price for a single-family home is $1,150,000. That is the same as last year, so prices are pretty flat. Condo prices are up. Median price is $800,000 for a condo on Maui. But like Dylan said, I mean, you have to look in different submarkets. I mean, there's some areas where the median price is $2 million plus for a single family home. I just pulled a couple stats. I mean, a lot of people are just trying to read the market and figure out, do I need to pay over list price for a house? first quarter 2023, 41% of homes sold over list price, 39% were all cash deals. And with condos, 52% of condos sold at or over list price, and 46% were cash deals. The highest sale on Maui for a single family home closed for $20 million, $750,000. And the lowest price sale was on Molokai for $220,000. So that's a pretty huge range of sales.
Well, in my world, Molokai doesn't count because like you have to have a special pass to live on Molokai. I mean, it's not like a legal pass, but you have to have a special spiritual permit to be able to live on Molokai. Otherwise, it's just not going to work. But anyway, those are some amazing stats, Heidi. And it just seems like Maui seems to be really the strongest of all the markets, at least from what it's kind of seemed over here. Actually, how does that compare or not compare or whatever? How does it compare to Oahu, or how's Oahu's market going? What are you observing? How's it coming along?
I'd say the same as last, week or 2 weeks ago. Yeah, last week rather. I mean, March, the median sales price for single families was $1,083,750 compared to 1.15 in March 2022. So it's not far below where it was. And for condos, it's actually up. We're almost at record sales. If not, I think we are just 3,000 over record sales for condos at 536,000. So the number of sales has gone down compared to last year, but it's up since the first quarter and last quarter of last year. In perspective, in March 2022, there's 321 single family sales on Oahu, and so far there's 236, or not so far. In March there was. For condos, it was 672 sales in 2022, and in 2023, 444 sales. It's still up again comparatively to October, November, December, January, February. Of the sales that occurred, the reason why we've kind of reached over that benchmark of 1 million is obviously because we've had more sales over 1 million. So 58.5% of our sales was over the $1 million mark. Surprisingly, though, in the condo sector, the 200 to 599,000 range saw the largest decline in sales, which I thought was interesting because you would think that the entry-level homes would stay consistent, most aggressive. So I thought that was fascinating. And overall, we have our average list to sale price. People are getting more realistic when they're coming up with pricing for their homes. And for our condos, we're seeing 99.3% of the list prices sold, list to sale price, and for single families, 100%. So it seems like it wasn't always at that ratio. People are getting more realistic when they're first coming on market. As I mentioned previously, we sort of have a unique stance here on Oahu. We have all of the government agencies, we have all of the military presence, and then we have the international market in Waikiki. So we have the hustle and bustle that people are attracted to that sort of keep our market moving and steady. But we are seeing the market pick up here. I don't know if that's because it's PCS season, which is military, when they're getting.
What does PCS stand for again?
It's Dylan.
Permanent change of station.
Permanent change of station. Thank you.
We have it in June, and then it happens typically twice a year. And in June, we're going to see a massive, I think, not massive, but we'll see an increase in listings as well, because a lot of those families are going to be relocating. And so they'll put their homes up for market as well. So we just tell our sellers, it doesn't hurt to list now. You're in that spring market, pre-summer market, and right before the PCS season, but you still have all the military that are coming here that are wanting to lock in homes before they get here.
Excellent. When you mentioned about that list to sale ratio, what does that mean? Does that mean basically the price that was when you said 99%, whatever? Is that to say that 99% of the homes sold for the price they were listed at? Is that what that means?
Yeah, 99.4 in the condo market means if they listed at it, they got 99.4% of that list price on average.
Got it. Okay, good. So, gang, looks like it's still a strong market. Let's reach out to a few friends here and some comments. First of all, thank you, Judy. You guys are hilarious today. It's that hiking thing, right, Judy? Definitely making me laugh. I needed this today. Judy, I am so glad that that's what makes the show fun. Is I do enjoy. First of all, I enjoy Ashley and Heidi and Dylan, and I just love the spontaneity of it. And you guys make it. I mean, the audience is what does it, because like Jeff right here, who's telling us about the wise sayings in Japan. The wise man climbs Mount Fuji once, but the fool climbs Mount Fuji twice. Yes, that's the old hiking reference there. Yes, the hiking reference. Yeah. I guess it's like the stairs on the Cocoa Head stair thingy. For some reason, anyway, I'm not going to go into that right now. It's a big thing now, but 20, 30 years ago, no one knew about that thing. And I don't know, and that was my prime. But anyway, okay. Hey, welcome back, Uncle Jim. Talk about a blast from the past. Uncle Jim is back with us. Hey, Jim, good to see you, buddy. Kelly Hobby, Islander alumni, says, have you heard of people commuting from island to island for work, affordable versus job opportunity? Well, Kelly, I'd like to hear what everyone else got to say, but interesting that you should ask. Many moons ago, this was 1991, if I'm not mistaken, I lived in the Puna district on the Big Island, which is near Pahoa, and very near Pahoa town. And I had a gig where I was teaching on Oahu at Honolulu Community College. And back then, you could have bought a pass, a Hawaiian Airlines pass. And I think it was like, if I'm not mistaken, it was like $250. And for $250,
it was like a booklet, right? Like I think you could buy 10 for like $250. So there was $25 each one or something like that.
It was something like that. But it was damn cheap. And I would almost daily, or 2 or 3 times a week, I would, jump in my car, hour and a half drive into Hilo, jump on a plane, fly to Oahu, grab a bus, another, like a 6-hour commute, basically, something insane, to go in and teach for like an hour and then a 6-hour commute back. And it was great. So it's possible. Anybody else heard of people commuting from island to island for work? Any else have any stories they want to add to that?
Oh, there's a ton. I mean, if you fly Monday mornings or Sunday afternoons, there's a ton of construction workers and folks that are flying over. A lot of times they don't go back and forth on the same day. They may go for a week or 4 days, work 4 10s and then come back. But it's definitely a thing. And I've been doing it lately. I fly to Maui for the day, at least once a month, if not more, to meet with the crew there. So yeah, it's totally doable. It's easy. And if you're into flying a small plane, you can fly Mokulele, and it's even easier. You don't have to go through TSA or anything like that. You just hop this island hop real quick. It's like an 8-person plane. So if that's scary, then it's not the best option.
If you're squeamish about 8-person planes, don't do that. Yeah.
Or you can feel like you're in a private jet, So it's just how you look at it.
It always just kind of something strange when you're in a plane and the pilot's like sitting right in front of you, and you could kind of see the whole thing and like, oh man, that's something. I'm kind of new to that one. Yes.
It does feel
Heidi,
like a private plane. It does.
Yeah, there you go. That's what I keep telling myself.
The other issue right now is that there's been tons of delays lately. I feel like, I've flown a lot in the last month, and it's like every single flight is delayed 45 minutes plus, it seems like. So even if that's important, right, being on time is important, that adds another layer of unpredictability into your commute. So unless you're going the day before, well in advance.
I hear air traffic in general is just something is going on with either the airflow. I don't know, but I guess across the board worldwide, there's something going on with air traffic and weather in general that's making things more complicated, in addition to people not working. But fly on over. Come. Sorry.
Hey man, okay. So since we're in a riffing freeform show here, I'm going to riff for a moment on this. I think, okay, here's my prediction. As the boomer generation retires and are replaced by millennials, you're going to see a lot more problems. That's what I see. You're going to see a lot more stuff breaking, a lot more stuff going wrong, a lot more stuff just not happening. They're just not as serious. They're just not. Your generation is not as serious as our generation, and everyone's glad that the boomers are leaving. And that's we're all, we'll be out of here soon. But I think the world is in for more hurt in the future than in the past.
What do you think we have to deal with? Look at the generation after us. They're just going to be.
I'm not going to be around for that. Yeah, thank God, I'm not going to be around for that. So I will thankfully be passing on that one. Go ahead, Heidi.
When I was on Kauai on vacation, we went to this coffee shop because, of course, love coffee. and they were telling us they were having trouble finding workers for this new coffee shop. So they were flying people in from Oahu, and I was just shocked. I'm like, that's got to be expensive. On Maui, a lot of medical professionals fly over from Oahu to work at Maui Memorial. And a lot of, doctors and professionals travel back and forth because, we're a little bit smaller market on Maui. But I don't know of a lot of people that every single day are commuting back and forth inter-island. It would more be having an appointment or coming once a week or something like that I'm aware of.
It is certainly out there here. So Christians heard of contract mail carriers delivering in Waikoloa and flying home to Maui 5 days a week. There's an example. Yeah. And Kelly is, she's looking for a graphics gig. Kelly, there's a lot of people who, get graphic. If you can get yourself a graphics gig on Oahu and kind of fly back and forth and either build it into the cost of the gig or, kind of subsidize it in some way, shape or form, go for it, girl. Go for it. Plus, you got your whole Ohana over here anyway. Who'd love to have you anyway. So that's kind of fun. So definitely do that. And Paul likes small planes. It's like flying in your uncle's station wagon. Yeah, there you go. That's a way to look at it. It's like your uncle's station wagon. As long as there's like a good party aboard, right? It all depends what kind of music your uncle is playing. That's what it all comes down to, what kind of music your uncle is playing. But yes, it's good fun. And then finally, Kelly was just going to say Cocoa Head. Yeah, we're talking about hikes, right? The famous Cocoa Head hike. It's become sort of a rite of passage of sorts, I think, these days. And I'm thankfully old enough for like, you know what? I did those hikes back then. I ain't going to do that now. So I'm past the. So look up the Cocoa Head hike. All right. Anybody else have any comments before we move on? Let's move on. So, hey gang, look, if you're not, how did you get this? Did you get the invite via my email newsletter? Is that how you found us? If you did, you're good. If you didn't, you need to get on the newsletter. We send out new stuff every other week. Of course, invites to this amazing fun show, livinginhawaii.com. Go to the website, the thing will pop up. Throw in your email address and get on that newsletter. All right. Hey, it took us a while, but we need to get to the big topic here for today. So, there's an old video, quote, old video on the site that's maybe a couple of years old. And it was taken in the middle of COVID. And I had someone actually email me and say, you may want to update that thing. And I think it's correct because we keep getting this question a lot. And this is about renting in Hawaii, how to secure kind of a long-term rental. And let me give you a sample of some of the issues that have come in. So for example, we had people have said, hey, how hard is it to I want a place that's near a great beach. Where is rent the cheapest and also with great beaches? Or, where should I start to look for a place to go? I'm looking, where should I start? I'm looking to arrive on this date. Where should I start to look for housing? We're not ready to buy yet, so I need to rent, but we have pets. How does all that work? All kinds of questions of that nature. What's the appropriate rental price for a small house on the Big Island? I'm hoping to relocate with my company. How difficult is it to rent a place? Is it expensive? Here's another one. I can't find a place to rent. I've been looking around for, I'm trying to, I need to relocate for 5 months. I've got pets. I can't find it. What about furniture? Do I rent it? It's kind of all a mess, right? And then, here's another one, rent versus buy. I mean, what do you think? Is it better to find an apartment and pay for the upfront for the entire lease? Or should I look to purchase a cheap condo, all kinds of questions. We get this all the time about what to do. And so I kind of summarize it this way. Here's the 5 key bullet points I keep hearing again and again about renting in Hawaii. Number 1 is, how do we close this rental catch-22? Now, what I mean by rental catch-22 is the idea that you can't rent a place until you're here, but you can't come here until you've rented a place. So how do you kind of close that? How do you leap that gap, that catch-22 gap about renting? Rental search engines, where should you go? What kind of websites could I go to kind of help me find a rental that's not scammy? Craigslist can get kind of scammy, so you have to kind of be careful about that. And what about pets? How does that change the rental formula if you've got pets? And then the other one is rent versus buy. Should I buy a place now, or should I rent for a little while? Or what about the buy and then use it for like X amount of months and then rent it for the other amount of months? So all those are big topics about renting. So gang, can we talk first about, let's hit the first 3, which is like, Where do you go to find a rental place? How do you get around this rental cash 22? Because you can't rent until you're here. But if you're here, you need to rent. And then what about the whole pet thing? Let's kind of do that first, and then we'll talk about more on the investment side later. So why don't we start? Why don't we do, Ashley, why don't you get us started? Ashley, then Heidi, and then Dylan. Give us your take on how you would address these kinds of questions.
Well, I think you could do it. It depends on your personality type. And it depends, again, I think we've spoken about it briefly, which experience of the island that you're going to, and putting basic things into consideration. What are your hobbies, and where do you need to work, and how long are you willing to commute? And if school district's an important thing to you. With that in mind, I mean, there is still Airbnbs, although on Oahu, they're a bit more stringent. You can still find 30-day rentals and, come up with some agreement if you need less time, and or stay in a hotel temporarily. I'd say stay somewhere, go to a few of them if you need to, and or find a long-term rental. Try to do month to month, because you never know when you're going to find a property that fits your needs, and you want to make sure you have flexibility. The websites that I use and I recommend my clients go to, it's hotpads.com. Hotpads.com pull from Zillow, Trulia, and just localized platforms. That's where I post my own personal rentals as well. And then Facebook Marketplace. Be careful when you're looking at rentals. There are lots of scams out there. If it looks too good to be true, if you're on these other platforms and you come across this one that just seems like a screaming deal, or they're asking for money up front and no one's meeting you there, make sure you have someone on site who secures that for you if you're not on island. Make sure that you identify who they are, if they're a property manager and or their name matches with the tax records, so that people don't take your money and your deposits without actually having the permission to rent that property. Which can happen in any market. And then decide, do you want rain or do you want dry as well? Because that's very different. Hotpads.com, though, that is where I defer everyone to. If you have pets, again, I do believe in home ownership. For that very reason, I bought my first house. There was 3 houses under $500,000 when I was 24 years old. I was not on the West Side. And I rescue dogs, and I had a lot of them, and I needed a yard, and I kept running into situations because I had so many pets where renting is challenging for me. So I rented a few locations before I purchased. But there's a lot of pet-friendly buildings. You just have to sometimes put in a pet deposit and look at, if it's a building, make sure that your pet fits that size restriction and breed restriction, which can, if they're a part of association, have.
That's excellent. A great set of points. I did type in hotpads.com into the comments. So if you folks are on both on the YouTube and also on the Facebook side, there's that commenter, hotpads.com. Thanks. That's a great reference. And so the takeaway I'm hearing from you, Ashley, is like, hey, do the month to month if you can at first. That'll help you it'll give you some flexibility until you find just the right place for you, then kind of have all those other needs racked up. Heidi, what's your advice as it pertains to Maui, or if there's anything that you want to add to like the first part about the rental cash 22, how do you get over that piece, the search engines or the pets? How's that going on? Give us the Maui perspective, Heidi.
Yeah, it's rentals are always in high demand on Maui. I'm actually seeing more availability of rentals right now than I've seen in the last couple years, which is great for people that are looking for rentals. Rentals on Maui have often been discovered through personal networking and word of mouth. So you can reach out to a realtor, you can reach out to me. I don't personally manage any rentals, but I can recommend several long-term property managers who do. And once they get to know you, know you're qualified, know what you're looking for, then when something comes up, if you're at the top of their list, that's how people can get rentals sometimes. It's not bad to look at Craigslist. It kind of gives you an idea of what's out there, but beware of scams. I mean, don't just wire somebody money from a Craigslist ad. I had a situation with one of my listings that it was this luxury home, and they captured the pictures from online from Zillow and posted it on Craigslist, and we're offering it for $3,000, which would be, ridiculously below market rate for this home. So I contacted them and had them take it down. But yeah, if something sounds too good to be true, it probably is. So ask the right questions. Ideally, get a representative on Maui, somebody that can go check it out, research who the owner is, etc. Rentals on Maui, I mean, kind of what I'm seeing out there for a studio, around 2,200, 2,300. For a 3-bedroom modest house or a nice condo, I mean, you're looking starting 4,000 to 5,000. So those are kind of the price ranges you'd be looking at. But it's a great way, renting's a great way to get over and make a move and see if you like an area, like a neighborhood, before buying. But in order to find that initial rental, like Ashley suggested, coming out and staying in a vacation rental for a little while, that will give you the flexibility to go look at things in person, and just making sure that it's a place that you like. Some stories I've heard from other renters is they'll see a place online, it looks good, but they don't realize it's in a house there's maybe 2 or 3 other rentals on property, and they're living in very close proximity to other people. I mean, the upstairs might be one unit, the downstairs might be one unit, there might be another ohana. So just really make sure that you look into the rental situation, and if it works for you. I mean, and yeah, it's way more difficult to find a place with pets. I mean, people do it, but personally, I would try to move over here first, and then once you found a place, bring your pets over.
Yeah, the pet advice is very good. So I'm kind of hearing the same kind of theme. Get yourself a vacation rental first, a 30-day vacation rental or whatnot, and then use that once you're here as your kind of base to find something else. Hotpads.com, as Ashley mentioned, you could look at Craigslist to get a view of the market, but you got to be really, really careful because that's a very scammy thing that you mentioned there.
No, Facebook Marketplace. I do not believe in Craigslist.
Yeah, no. You're right. Facebook Marketplace for you. Heidi was mentioning Craigslist as a place to go look and see its overall market. But yeah, you have to be careful because you get people taking pictures from Zillow and post them as their place, and oh my God, it's crazy. Dylan, what's your take? What's the big perspective on that first part, the catch-22, the search engines and pets?
So another issue that makes this difficult, right? That you got to understand is that in our market, definitely rentals are in such high demand that the long-term property managers, they have lists of people that have already applied, that have been background checked, that have maybe deposit money in. And when rentals come on the market, or they get a rental that comes into their company, they can just go to their list and then call these people and they get it rented, right? They're not putting it out in the open market. So if you're waiting to see something come up on Facebook Marketplace or on Zillow or on Trulia or one of these websites, you could be missing like 50% of the potential inventory out there. So my advice is to be proactive. You have to make yourself marketable as a renter, just like you would writing an offer on a house to purchase. And so some things that you can do is one, save money. Like if you can offer to pay 6 months of rent up front, like that makes you more marketable because you don't have, there isn't the unknown of you potentially not paying your rent. Making sure that you apply with property managers. I always tell folks, here's the 3 or 4 biggest property managers in our market. Go get on their list, apply with them, have them on your credit, whatever they need to do to get you pre-qualified as a renter. And that way, if a good property that comes up that matches your needs comes up, they're gonna call you. They're gonna call off their list first than people that have already applied, that they have ready to go, versus putting out an open market and taking 50, 60 phone calls and having to send out applications. That's a pain, right? It's a lot of work. So being proactive is probably the best thing you can do. Another thing you can make yourself more marketable is not have pets, right? Like this is like an unpopular opinion, but people like dictate what they do in life based off of their animal, which is crazy to me. Like, it's like, if that's going to be that's a huge barrier to you accomplishing something, like you have to figure out a way around that, right? So I just had some friends recently that like, we're going to move here and they had a dog, and I'm like, what are you guys going to do to the dog? And they're like, we're just going to get rid of it. Like, we're not going to let it become a barrier. I'm like, wow, I never heard that before.
Oh my God, don't tell that to Ashley. Ashley, cover your ears, Ashley. Cover your ears. This is going to be shocking.
But it's just a realistic way to look at life, right? I mean, if your dog is your priority, then you have to accept all of the crazy restrictions that are going to come with that and the barriers to entry that are going to come with that, and don't feel like you need to be treated special because you've prioritized that over a move or something else, right? You just have to be practical about it. So.
But to that point, you don't get
ahead.
a pet unless if they are a priority, because you don't take on the responsibility of a living being and creature without
I agree.
saying this will be a
I agree.
priority for me.
Then don't let your personal living situation from your family be dictated by the pet that you want to care for, right? I mean, like you got to put your priorities in line. So
Which
I totally
is why
agree.
I had to buy a junk.
There you go. So you bought a house.
My friend, because I had dogs.
We all have our priorities,
Actually,
right?
a lot of people buy houses for their pets. That's not unusual.
Not unusual. It's
you know what I see people do all the time, which blows my mind, right? Is they haggle on price. They don't want to pay X amount over a certain price or whatever, and then they get the house and then they spend 30 grand on a fence to like put for their dog. And I'm like, you potentially lost the deal because you were haggling over $5,000 in the purchase price, and then you go spend 30 grand on a fence. I'm like, wow.
You know,
it keeps kids in too.
What's that?
It keeps kids in too.
You know, gang. This is what now you're all kind of watching the prioritization of issues all kind of flow around, right? And pets is a huge one, and you're all correct. You have to kind of, you know, it's living animals, and you got to figure out where they live on your priority and how much of a priority that you pose. Great discussion. You know what? We're running short on time. We're gonna do the second this rent versus buy, this investment. We're gonna do a part 2 at the next show in 2 weeks because we need to kind of move on. We're running out of time, but this was a great discussion for the first part. And I know that John Rodriguez is happy about this because this is what he and his wife were looking for. I'm glad that is helpful. And let me catch up on a few comments over here that came in since. First of all, Judy is the best. While you're on the website, livinginhawaii.com, she says, look into joining the Islander Ohana. Judy, I tell you, man, Judy is my best reference of the Islander Ohana. Bless you, Ashley. Thank you for having your mic muted. And then Joan says, hey, small planes are fun. In California, I got to ride in a 4-seater Piper Cherokee and a 2-seater 13 traffic two-seater traffic helicopter. Yeah, those are traffic. By the way, helicopter ride. Gang, if you haven't gone on a Kauai tour on a helicopter, it is, or any kind of island on a helicopter tour, very, very, very cool. And of course, Kelly Keene. Hope I got that right, Kelly. It's either Kelly Keene or Kelly if it's Hawaiian's Keane. But your dog is part of the family. Kelly, you know, we had a toy poodle who was turning 18 this year, and he has been a part of our family for 18 years. And part of the family. All right, let us move on. We need to go to the diamonds and deals over here because we got to talk about our fun properties. And you know what? Heidi, I'm assuming that because you came a little bit late, you may have done it a little bit later. So give me a second here, gang, to get the show, get the slides lined up the right way.
While
So
you do that,
before
Kelly has her last name, whether it's Keen or Kiani, or that's how I spell my daughter's name, and we pronounce it Keana.
Keana. Oh, so Keana instead of an E at the end, because there's an E at the end. So is it Keana?
Just kidding.
Okay.
Hers has an A.
JK. JK. Okay, so it's got an A at the end. Okay, good. All right.
You're
Hey,
right.
just I've been into the Hawaiian language thing for a long time now because we did some courses on correct how we did. I've got a course on the Islander Ohana, which is like, you know, the best way for howlies to pronounce Hawaiian words. And I'm kind of been into that for a while now. Anyway, hey, let's talk diamonds and deals, gang. And Heidi, is this something new, or is this new, or is this from last time?
This is a different property than last time.
Yeah, let's hear it. What do we got here, Heidi?
This is a direct oceanfront beachfront home in Kana. It was originally built in 1966, and it was just completely renovated, very mid-century modern. They did everything they could to preserve some of the original character of the home. All the tile in the bathroom is refurbished. They have that beautiful wood paneling. So it's a really unique home, and it's just very private, single level home, 2-bedroom, 2-bath, and then there's a separate ohana and garage. So it's a 1-bedroom, 1-bath ohana, and then there's a garage at the bottom, and then a little, bonus extra space in that structure as well. They just redid the seawall, and they have steps down to a sandy beach. So you can jump in the water or launch your paddleboard or swim. And it's listed for 7.888.
That's got to be a Chinese seller, because only a Chinese seller would do 888 in the sales price. Garen's
I
Ball
don't know.
Barons.
I didn't decide on the price, but yeah.
Garen's Ball Barons, that is a
It's
Chinese
a lucky
seller.
number. You should buy it.
That's right. Well, I mean, I was just remarking about it. I was just looking at this property hiding. It's like Hawaii homes like beat at, just like the weather. Hawaii homes are, a stunning Hawaii home is like out of this world stunning. And I'm looking at this like, man, you've got this sort of outdoor indoor, this main shot in front that looks like some sort of an outdoor indoor shot, but it's the home, and you got this insane beach right in front of you. You're in Lahaina, so you're still near where everything is. It's just crazy, man. It's just absolutely crazy. And it's not just me. It's also Kelly's dream home too. And by the way, Kelly was kind enough to give us the pronunciation. On the mainland we say Keen, on the island we say Keane. Excellent. See, you got the best of both worlds. You get to have the Howley pronunciation and the local pronunciation. So that is a winner. All right, thank you, Heidi. That is a beautiful property. Ashley, tell us what we got here. What are we looking at, Ashley?
So I've highlighted this before, but I just want to bring it back again, because the location of this one is so prime, and it's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath. It's for $405,000. It has a parking stall. It's pet friendly and it's VA approved. And right there, you can see with all these solar panels on top of the building next to the red marker, that's the Makiki Shopping Center. And it's just everything that you could possibly need is walking or biking distance away. You have the Blaisdell Center for entertainment, along with the Honolulu Museum of Art. And you're right across from the elementary school, so people are walking their dogs. For $405,000 for a 2-bedroom with parking, it's honestly, I feel like a diamond, and it's still available.
That is a diamond, and that is the double whammy. That is the diamond and the deal. I am very, very familiar with that area. I go by that area many times a week, and yeah, that is a great spot. That shopping area in front's got a big, huge Safeway and a bunch of other little shops right, like you said, right across the street. You basically cross the street and boom, you're there. Great town location for sure. Thank you, Ashley.
One more thing about this unit, it has a grandfathered in dishwasher, which the other units, I believe only 4 of them in the building, I don't quote me on that, have. And it's a secured elevator. And they just redid all of the plumbing in the walls and underground as well. So the bathroom is also completely remodeled. But the plumbing is one of the things that appealed my particular owners.
Yeah. $400K. I mean, that is a winner, especially now since you mentioned the condo prices are very brisk. Excellent. You guys are great as usual, gang. This is the best. This is the best team in town. You can't beat this team here. Dylan, what do we got here, man? You got 2, I think. Right?
I had to go double header because we just got two awesome offerings right here. If you're looking for like great location condos that are STVR ready or already in use, if you're looking to retire, maybe
STVR stands for
short-term vacation rental.
Thank you.
So yeah, the one on the left is in Waikoloa Village, right on the golf course. You're beautiful. Just walk up building, $635, great price for a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. And then the one in town is in Kona Pacific. So that's right in the heart of Kailua Kona town. That's the building with the solar panels is where it's located, and you can see the Royal Kona Resort right across the street. That's Kailua Bay in the distance, so you can walk right into Elite Drive and all the stuff that's there. And that one's a 1-bedroom, 2-bath for $599. But both great options. If you're looking to retire in the future and you want to rent it in the meantime, both of them do very well in the vacation rental market. And HOA for Waikoloa is like $820, and then the other one's just under $600, or just that $600, I believe, the one in Kona. So pretty reasonable for HOAs. Anything under $1,000 nowadays is a reasonable HOA fee.
And HOA fee is homeowners association fee.
Yeah, that's your monthly maintenance fees. Yeah.
I tell you, it is really appealing to me personally to kind of think that, wow, buy a one bedroom, 600 in the 600K range, right? It's either the two bedroom or the one bedroom, but 600K range, rent it out. It's a legal short-term vacation rental, which to me are going to become more and more valuable as this becomes more and more of a scarce resource. I think that's not a known, that's just I think, or on my opinion. And then keep it for X amount of years, and then when you're ready to retire, you move right in and you're all set. And that is just a winner. Or the other one, you just buy it and come for 3 months out of the year, or 3 or 6, be like a snowbird or whatever. Come out, hang out for 3-6 months out of the year, and then go back to where you are. You're all set. Winner. Thanks, gang. Excellent choices. All right, gang. I think we're going to move on. Let's get to our closing thoughts. And hey, you all know what all you regulars, you know what this is all about. If you've got some closing thoughts that you want to share, words of wisdom, love to hear them. It's all part of the show here. Let's go. Let's hit with Dylan. Dylan, what's yours, and why is it important to you?
Just one of my favorites. Been talking about goal setting and vision with some folks lately, and it always reminds me of, if your goals don't scare you, they're not big enough. It's a simple way to look at it. Your goals got to be, if your goals are easily attainable, it's not a real goal, right? So it's got to be something that's a BHAG, right? What's your big, hairy, audacious goal?
What's your big hair? And I would add in, I completely agree with everything that you're saying. I would add in, and if you haven't failed a bunch of times at trying your goals, or else another indication that your goals aren't big enough is you haven't failed enough. Because if you're not eating a couple, you got to eat a couple, just like with surfing. If you're not eating a couple, you're not trying hard enough.
I don't know if we talked about it on air, but shout out to Ashley and her open up her new office and co-working space. That's a big one. I had to have been scary making that investment, but anybody who needs co-working space in Hawaii Kai, Ashley's got a great spot.
Hey, hey, since you did it, I'm going to finish it. Ashley, give us a quick update. What's going on? What are you doing, girl? What's happening on Oahu?
Thank you so much, Dylan. Thank you, guys. It's so scary. It's it's called Gather Cowork. My partner is the one that owns that, brand and name, Gather Cowork. We partnered in on the space where I'll be holding my real estate events, because it's a co-working and event space, and it's right in Hawaii Kai on the corner, ground level next to Roy's, if you're familiar with the area. And it looks over at Diamond Head. So it's the whole glass corner. It's a pristine cream of the crop location. It is expensive. It is big, but it is very, very exciting. It forces me to be more out there. It forces me to collaborate and network a lot more. And it forces me to hold a lot more events. This is something I wanted to do and be more prevalent into the real estate community and give back to people. So I'm so proud of my partner for opening up the and facilitating the co-working side of things. I'm very excited to be aligned with her and help that grow. And inside of that space as well, I'm starting my own podcast company. So there's a soundproof room in there where people can go through a membership-based podcast, membership-based platform for doing podcasts, either one-offs or monthly for 8 or 12 per month. So it'll be really exciting. There's going to be a lot of activity there. And we're having our grand opening this Saturday from 4 to 7 p.m. You all are welcome to join us. Please do. If so, reach out to me and I can get you the link to RSVP. We'll have live local music. We're going to have poo-poos, sushi. We're going to have an after party at 7 p.m. with a professional stargazer. It'll be a lot of fun. And I would love to celebrate with you. I'm going to miss you, Dylan, and Heidi. If you can hop over, please join us. Peter, I think you'll be able to come.
Hey,
sounds awesome.
Ashley, yeah, it does sound awesome. Ashley, I don't know if you want to, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I just kind of, I'll put the question out there and you could do it however you want to do it. But Islander Ohana get together at the co-working space, Islander Ohana meetup. Is that all right? Is that all right if we do that, Ashley?
Yeah. How many people come?
It's going to all depend. I'd say it depends.
Talk
if
to
there's
me
free
later.
food. No. I'll talk that. Yeah, no, I mean, maybe 10, 15 people or so, max. I don't know who will turn out, but if you want to get some people to show up to add some, so let me know. Let's chat about that offline.
There's a
All right,
conference room for privacy, and you guys, it would fit that amount of people.
We don't need our private space. We're part of the Ohana. we just kind of want to help the crowd over here. Podcast idea, great idea, by the way. Hope that works. That sounds really fun. Yeah, sounds really fun. Cool. All right. Auntie Jones got a thing that she wants to share. Living with regrets is like driving a car that only moves in reverse. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Auntie Joan, who we celebrated her 80th birthday not too long ago. So those are some words of serious wisdom, gang. That's some serious wisdom words that we are getting for sure. And Kanaya, Peter, I loved your 50 reasons to move to Hawaii, the most recent newsletter. It's incredible, inspiring. I'm so glad you liked it, Kanaya. Lots of reasons. I got one of the most biggest articles I also have on the same website is 12 reasons not to move to Hawaii. So we have to counteract that with 50 reasons to move to Hawaii. All right. Back to our inspirational quotes. Heidi, what's yours and what does it mean to you?
So this is a quote by C.S. Lewis. You can't go back and change the beginning, but you can start where you are and change the ending. I mean, this is a great one for today because I can't change that I was late, but I'm here now. But to me, this just reminds me of the power that we always have to change. And I mean, it kind of goes along with not focusing on regrets and just living your life forward and not in the past. And we all do have the power to change and make a difference and create new things in the future. And I think that's really amazing.
You and Auntie Joan are soul sisters on this topic for today. We did not plan this out, folks. Spontaneity. I popped up Auntie Joan's quote before I popped up Heidi's. So there you go. And hey, it looks like Kelly Keane just closed on a place in town. Thanks for the hot pads link as we begin to search for a renter. Excellent. Well, good luck. Excellent. Great, Kelly. Good news. Excellent. All right, let's go to Ashley's quote. Ashley, what's yours and what does it mean to you?
You're braver than you believe and stronger than you seem and smarter than you think. I believe that we are born unknowingly, and nothing against our family or our friends, but with a lot of limitations and limiting beliefs. And we all have some stuff that we have to work through, either through our households or our schools or our economic environments. And I think that this is a reminder that you have all of the capabilities to do everything that you want. And if you were ever called stupid, or if you were ever called, lazy, or if you were ever called anything that made you feel less than you are, just remember, you're more than that. Like, don't let the things that you've been told or tell yourself on the daily hold you back. Just be more, do more.
Well said. Well said. We all have our limitations, but this is one of the reasons why there are a lot of in a lot of the spiritual practices, Christian and others, suffering is welcomed. You welcome suffering because suffering, surviving the suffering is what makes this a true statement. It reinforces that when you survive, when you go through a suffering phase, you're like, man, I didn't think I was going to get through that, but I did. And that's what it is all about. Excellent. Thank you, Ashley. All right, I'm going to end up with my Proverbs as predictable as I could be. Proverbs line: "Those who love a pure heart and are gracious in speech will have the king as a friend." What's cool about these Proverbs things is sometimes they're completely self-explanatory, right? If you love a pure heart and are gracious in speech, you will have the king as a friend, meaning that you will have people in high places and people with great power who call you friend. And that is our piece of wisdom from Proverbs for today. All right, gang. Well, I think that's it for today. Thanks, everybody. It's been a great show. Great you over here, Heidi. I'm glad you made it. You were just a few minutes late. Most people didn't even notice. So I'm glad that you're here to join us. Why don't let's say goodbye in clockwise order. Let Ashley first, then Dylan, and then Heidi. Say goodbye.
Hi, everyone. Have a blessed day. Thank you for joining us.
Have an awesome weekend, everybody.
Aloha. Have a great weekend.
Have a great weekend, folks. We will see you in 2 weeks. Aloha.